Hi everyone, welcome to our latest video. Absolutely delighted to be able to show you today this gorgeous Ducati 851 S3 Monoposto. Now this particular bike is 31 years old and has covered just under 6,800 miles from new. Yep, 6,800 miles from new in 31 years. So she's a 1989 G registered bike, but as I think you can see from the condition, she certainly doesn't resemble a bike of that age. A little bit of history about the Ducati 851. This is a bike that was produced by Ducati under Cagiva ownership, and I think it's fair to say that back in the 1980s most of the Italian motorcycle brands, Ducati, Bimota, Moto Guzzi, they all struggled financially. And there is a strong argument to say that it was the Ducati 851 that actually saved Ducati as a brand. This was Ducati's first superbike, and as such I think it's got a really important part to play in Ducati's history. It's a very underrated bike, lovely bike to ride, particularly this example. But as I say, it's Ducati's first liquid-cooled 4-valve per cylinder V-twin, developing around 102 brake horsepower. And frankly, it was the first bike to take it to the Japanese inline fours around a racetrack. And I think it's fair to say that without the 851, Ducati as a brand might not exist as it does today. From the 851 and the developments within this, subsequently came the Ducati 916, and I don't think that's a bike that necessarily needs any more description. Of course, from the 916, development grew, and Ducati as a brand grew. But this is ultimately where it all started with regards to superbikes. Ducati's first superbike, the 851. So we're going to take you around the bike. We're going to explain a little bit about the bike's history, what's been done to recommission this particular model, having been off the road for some time. Going to show you some of the imperfections, as there always are on a 31-year-old bike. But overall, we think you'll appreciate the condition that this bike is in. So we're going to start off with the right side, move on to the left, and then we'll finish up with a cold start and a summary. So we'll see you for the next part. Hi everyone, welcome to the right side of our stunning Ducati 851 Monoposto. Looking absolutely delightful in this afternoon sunshine. A real collector's piece, and arguably an important part of Ducati's history. So we're going to take you around the bike, just show you some of the bike's patina, and of course some of the more recent work that's been carried out to make her as beautiful as she is. But we do believe, in the interests of integrity, certainly understanding that a vast amount of you potential buyers viewing this video will be doing so from far afield, and therefore require the bike delivered. We pride ourselves that our videos leave no stone unturned. It's not all about the good bits. On a 31-year-old bike, of course, there is always going to be some wear and tear, but nonetheless, let us start with you on the front. You can see the mirrors in really nice order. These fold in, of course, so they are quite easy to get out of the way if you need to gain access down a pathway or a narrow garage. Same with the near side. Now, as far as we can ascertain, the majority of the paintwork on this bike appears to be original. One of the telltale signs is you'll see the data tag stamp there visible on the front nose, and of course a matching one which we can show you on the single seat unit as well. A couple of tiny little chips, nothing that I don't think anyone would accept as part of a 31-year-old machine. if we look through there, we can see the radiator. And again, as part of our sort of recommissioning work, the radiator was actually removed, soaked, cleaned and repainted. Also just a small stone chip there on the corner of the front mudguard. That will be dealt with. We're just waiting for the correct touch-up to arrive. But didn't want that to hold up our video on such a beautiful day. Okay, moving down to the front wheel assembly. You can see we've got a brand new Bridgestone on the front, and of course a matching rear. Many people do upgrade the front tyre to a 120/70, but we like to keep things as they were intended to be, so that's a 120/60 as it rolled out of the factory, and you can see that sits on a beautifully and freshly powder coated front wheel. It's one of the few items that we felt did need attention. The paintwork on the wheels when she arrived, as you can appreciate, after 30 years had started to yellow and tarnish somewhat. And talking of tarnishing, I think it's fair to say that any 31-year-old bike is going to suffer a little bit with tarnishing of nuts and bolts, but Italian bikes do seem to suffer with more than anything. So you can see as we go through the bike or around the bike that we've put a bit of attention to detail in a lot of the nuts and bolts. Here we can see just the brake caliper mounting bolts and pinch bolts, but you can even see the brake disc bolts here, fork pinch bolts, even the fork spindle itself. A lot of these nuts and bolts, even the fairing fasteners, have been acid dipped and electroplated in the original Ducati gold zinc to, as near as damn it, bring them up to as new. You can see a couple there on the clutch cover, on the fairing bracket, as I say, on the fairing fasteners. Same here on the rear, the brake disc bolts, brake caliper mounting bolts, even the rear wheel spindle and the chain adjusters. So a little bit of attention to detail, which I think is important on a bike such as this, particularly if it's one that you've aspired to own for many years. You want the best you can get. Now, paintwork on the tank is absolutely remarkable for a machine of its age. No dents, no scuffs, and again, not fitted as yet, but we've got a tank pad coming for it just to protect it. If she'd lasted 31 years in this condition, we ought to try and do what we can to maintain that. And again, you can see that that stunning Monoposto seat unit, and subsequently the paintwork on that. Absolutely blemish free. Again, we believe this to be original paintwork. There's no guarantees, but again, we have got the data tag stamp there. You can see on the rear we've got the matching brand new Bridgestone. When I say brand new, that's done about 30 miles, just us scrubbing the tyres in for the new owner. You can see there that freshly powder coated rear wheel. For being really fussy, a couple of little scratches on the swing arm there, almost unavoidable really, because for some reason Ducati put these tiny little paddock stand bobbins on, which far too close to the swing arm, but nonetheless, as I say, 31-year-old machine, and I think sometimes it's nice to show a little bit of originality. The exhausts are in remarkable condition, no dents, no scuffs. As you can see, we've got the original Cagiva elephant on the Ducati stamped exhausts, and you can see by the relatively low discoloration on the exhausts. It certainly appears to match the low mileage of the bike. A little bit more attention to detail there with the rear brake master cylinder pivot, and mounting bolts. I say standard exhausts, but the baffles, which are spot welded in, literally are just held in place with a small spot weld. We've actually removed those just to release the full Ducati beans, and those baffles are very easily refitted if you like your Ducatis a bit quieter, but I've never met anyone yet that does. These are the original Monoposto standard exhaust hangers, and it's quite important to note actually that you can see on the other side where these are an integral part of the rear subframe, and I think one of the things I like most about this bike is it appears to have not been messed around with over the years. Very often these were cut away to allow the fitment of high level exhausts, which whilst look beautiful do compromise the originality of the bike. And you can probably just see through there, we'll see it better from the other side, the cleanliness of that rear Marzocchi fork, rear shock. And again, the attention to detail with regards to the nuts and bolts and the restoration of the radiator. Now, if we look very closely, and not in all lights, but certainly in some lights, pretty sure that this offside fairing has been painted at some point in the last 20 years maybe. It really is impossible to say. There is just a small blemish on the edge of the nose where the fairing meets, but certainly nothing that detracts from the overall beauty of this bike. But I think it is one could argue that in certain lights the right hand fairing is just a shade, just a tiny shade lighter than the paintwork on the nose cone. But that is being extremely fussy. and as far as we can ascertain, it certainly appears that that right hand fairing is the only non-original paintwork, and I think for a 31-year-old bike that's pretty good going. But it is worthy of note, on that basis alone, it's not a concours bike, but it is a beautiful low mileage example. We'll be back shortly with the left side, and then we'll crack on with the cold start. See you shortly. Hi everyone. Here we are, back with the left hand side of the bike, and no less beautiful than the right side, although the sun's gone in. But not always a bad thing, because sunshine can sometimes bring up reflections and shadows that aren't present at the moment. But again, we'll go from rear to front on this side. You can see we've got the standard number plate hanger and indicators, and again that beautiful, what I think is the best part of the bike, that stunning mono tail section. Again, tiny little chip there on the left hand side, which will be rectified for the new owner. It's just that the weather's good today. We wanted to get the video out there, and we haven't just yet got the appropriate touch up, but that'll all be done. Again, you can see some of the attention to detail with regards to the nuts and bolts and fastenings. The left exhaust just as nice as the right, and again got that Ducati stamp and the Cagiva elephant, with Cagiva being the owners of Ducati at the time this bike was built. And probably on this left hand side we probably get to see a little bit more of the attention to detail with regards to the footrest bolts and the bolts that hold the front sprocket cover on, and the stator cover. And if we delve right in there, we can see all the coolant hose Jubilee clips are also replaced. And I think the result is absolutely stunning. So again, there's that new rear tyre. Get a really good look in there on the hub of the freshly powder coated rear wheel. New gold DID chain with the original rear sprocket, again being acid dipped and electroplated in the original Ducati gold zinc, along with the sprocket nuts. And again, we can probably just see through there, just a little bit of a zoom, just to show you how clean that rear spring and shock assembly is on the Marzocchi rear shock. Beautiful paintwork on the left hand fairing. As I say, difficult for us to be able to definitively say whether or not this paintwork is original. I think that would only be possible for anyone if they'd owned the bike from new, but it certainly appears so, and whichever way, it's really lovely paintwork. Okay, we can do a little bit of a close-up there on the front cylinder, which again was painted while the valve clearances were checked. And again we can see in there the nut and bolt detail on the camshaft end caps. And again on the front brake assembly. And of course, although we haven't mentioned it as yet, it stands to reason that obviously with the front and the rear wheels being powder coated, new wheel bearings were fitted at the same time. Now our attention to detail carries on. If I can show you through the screen, where we've even had the fork top pinch bolts electroplated. And even the screws on the brake and clutch reservoirs. And there's the mileage, 6,700, and just about to click over to 30 from our road test the other day. There's our intact chassis plate confirming that she's a Ducati 851 S3. And of course we have matching engine and chassis numbers. Also worth noting that both the stator cover on the left hand side here and something I should have mentioned on the right side, the not only the external clutch cover but the internal clutch casing, they were removed and sandblasted and repainted just to deal with some sort of superficial engine peeling and patina. You can see new battery there, and of course the obligatory Optimate charging lead. So a little bit of a cheat there. While we're looking at the left hand side of the bike, we ended up going back round to the right, but as you can see, that is a absolutely stunning machine, and we're going to come back to you shortly with a cold start. Just get a bit of temperature into the engine before we blip the throttle a couple of times and let you hear those booming twin exhausts, and we'll be back for a summary after that. See you soon. Here we are back again, guys, and it's cold start time. And not that we should need to prove ourselves, however we will by doing our obligatory grabbing of the exhaust. Now, unless I've got asbestos fingers, that is completely stone cold. The bike hasn't actually in fact been started since yesterday. And I think it is worth bearing in note that this is a 31-year-old machine, and quite frankly the chances of this starting and running seamlessly first time is quite slim. They do normally take a couple of attempts. Just turn the indicator off there, but she may prove me wrong. There you go, just to make you look silly on the video. You can see there, completely unregistered on the temperature gauge there. And as with all older Ducatis, it's struggling a little bit at 1000 RPM. RPM and completely smoothed out. You can actually hear the piston pulses, the individual piston pulses. Really lovely sound. Just see, I've already gained about 100 RPM there, so she smooths out. Now ready for a couple of blips of the throttle. Such a lovely sound. There you can see that's smoothed out considerably from when she was first started. Just starting to register temperature. These 851s are notoriously slow to warm up, but having ridden her last Saturday at about 26 degrees, sits at a very steady 80 degrees on the move, and certainly from a cooling perspective really quite efficient for a bike of this age. So there you go, that's the cold start and running the beautiful Ducati 851 S3 Monoposto. We'll be back to summarise shortly. Hi guys, well I hope you enjoyed the video of our stunning Ducati 851 S3 Monoposto. It really is a treat to the eyes, a beautiful bike to ride, sounds absolutely fabulous, and quite frankly is a piece of history. Now this bike has covered just under 6,800 miles. She's just been comprehensively recommissioned by ourselves with oil and filter, coolant, brake and clutch fluids, valve clearances, cam belts, wheel bearings, chains and sprockets, you name it, this bike's had it, and she's ready to ride, ready to enjoy, or ready just to sit and stare at. Beautiful looking thing. If you'd like a bit more detail, please give me a call. Otherwise, this bike is available at 8495. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.